Welcome to the Weekly Course of Action, Week 12. I'm Gwen Bortner. This week I want to talk to you about the concept of a sprint. Now I'm not talking about a 100-yard dash or something like that where we actually have to do something athletic. I'm talking about a business sprint. Now the concept of a sprint is something I learned through Todd Herman's 90-day year program. And in his program he suggests using a 2-week sprint. Now, after I experimented with that for a while, I discovered that a 1-week sprint actually works better for me. But the concept is the same regardless of whether you use 1 week or 2 weeks. The idea of a sprint is that you focus on your most important project, 1 or 2 projects, and focus for just that period of time. That you're going to spend 80% of your time, your productivity time, trying to get those projects done. And of course, these projects should tie back to your overarching goal that we discussed in a previous week. The idea of a sprint is to allow you to focus, to not be distracted by so many different things. Now, the reason it works is that most of us get lost doing what we call context switching, using up time going from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And the idea of a sprint is that you're going to focus and get this one thing done in a relatively short period of time. And whether you use 1 week or 2 weeks, it's long enough to actually get something relatively significant done, but short enough that it doesn't seem too overwhelming or too long term. So the idea is to take a project and break it down into tasks. What are you going to do each day of your 1 or 2 week sprint? And then focus on making sure that gets done as your highest priority each day. If you do that, you'll be surprised how much you can accomplish in a relatively short period of time. Folks that have been using the 90-day year for the last 6 months or so find that they're getting a ton done, way more than they typically would, just by leveraging the sprint. The other value of the sprint is it allows you to do some quick feedback loops. What worked, what didn't, what I'm going to change next time. So this week, I encourage you to set up your own 1 or 2 week sprint. Think about what is the project that you want to do, and then focus on what are the tasks you're going to do each day to get that project done. And then I'll see you next week on the Weekly Course of Action.